Hi, Catherine.
It's so nice to see you. I'm hugging you. Ugh.
I think Gus is getting hugs too. Pretty happy. He'll probably hop back up here again in a minute.
Yay. I love his eyes so much.
He's
Well,
a he's a good boy.
thanks for being willing to jump on and have a recorded session here. I talk about you with my people, and we've had a generous funder help with this first part of your education, and I just thought that's so cool. I see this tail. Yeah. I just wanted people to get to know you a little better. So I'm just going to give you the microphone. And who are you? And tell me a little bit about you.
My name is Crystal Vega. I who am I? I'm finally an adult now. I'm almost 50. My life's been a little rough up until now. I think now I'm just now getting hold on who I am and what direction I want to go in. And I met Catherine back in 2019 when I was released from county jail. I came to the Sophia's House program, which was in Lewiston, who was being run at the time by Trisha Grant, which full circle is now my roommate. I was the first graduate of this program. While I was there, I've gone to school for recovery coaching, peer support. I actually just finished certified intentional peer support training. And I attempted to go to school, first for IT. Turns out that's not as fun as you would think it is, and it wasn't. It wasn't where my heart is. So I went for behavioral health, and I think I overloaded myself at first and tried to work a full time job and do school. So I did get a few credits and then worked. For the past 3 years, I have done recovery support for inmates in Androscoggin County Jail. I have done recovery support throughout Lewiston, Auburn. Currently, right now, I work at a harm reduction center, which recently promoted me to community center coordinator. Right now, I'm still trying to secure space for that. Once that happens, we'll be providing a drop in center for the unhoused and those who are still struggling with substance use disorder. Because of that, I was started thinking, I'm like, wow, maybe finishing my degree might be a good idea. I can take my certified drug and alcohol counseling degree and use it in a different way. Um, I need to help people who've been through what I've been through. I'm a trafficking survivor, I'm a domestic violence survivor, addiction survivor, incarceration, generational abuse, you name it, it's happened. And now I'm to the point where all these things are kind of aligning. Um, Stop Trafficking US has helped me to finish my degree. I should be done by fall 2024. Um, and all the little bumps that come along the road, like a laptop for school, for things that I need so that I'm not struggling or feeling like I have to compromise myself or my views just to survive.
One of
Um,
the things that I respect about you, we were talking earlier that you have not missed a car payment in how many years?
2.5.
Yeah. So that's amazing. There's $15,000 left on your car loan,
Yeah.
and there's little things. And I've said this to people before. I appreciate international missionary work. I appreciate that. I get that. I don't think that should be in lieu of the missionary work of who's in our own backyard. The single woman who needs tires. Tires are expensive.
There, there.
Well,
Yeah, I'm looking at a grand. It's a grand, I think, for 4 tires on my car.
right. And so
Like,
that when
yep.
you don't have that,
Mhm.
something else has to give. And that might be all the difference between the books that you need for a class, or, it sort of it ripples.
Mhm.
And then
Mhm.
people can get, derailed. So when you're going from, where you are and where you want to be, there's this bridge, and so many people fall
Mhm.
off that bridge and
Yeah.
make poor decisions because they didn't have the right kind of support. And then
Mhm.
it just sort of puts them back. What was that? Candyland. You slide all the way, all the way back. And
It's
one
like
of
I'm playing catch up is what I feel like I'm doing because, like I said, I'm almost 50. I'm not 30 anymore. A lot of these things I should have done a long time ago, but I wasn't capable.
right,
Life's all those things happened, and now it's like I'm playing catch up, wanting the house and wanting to clear the credit up and go forward so that way I can help other people is kind of my goal. That's why I mentioned to you about getting an income property. It's to help other people, not just myself.
right. Well, your whole
Yeah.
concept about the income property, about having 4 units, and one that you live in for 2 years, and one that is pays uh,
Mortgage. Yep.
mortgage, and the other one that goes into savings to do the next
Yep.
thing.
Yep.
You need to have good credit, and you need help and a plan with that. And you're not going to get good credit if you miss a payment because you need tires.
Right.
So having organizations be able to help, your own mental health, physical health
Yep.
is, and sobriety is the first most precious thing. And then the next thing is getting the education, and while you're still working. And it
Mhm.
has to be, you get your education in a way that you can do it
Mhm.
successfully.
Mhm.
You
Yeah.
know, to do it all right. That's why it's so cool that my funders are like, hey, if she can be effective
Mhm.
with doing 2 classes versus 4 classes, and it takes her a little bit longer, great.
It
However,
did work. It worked. I think I closed out my first class with a 98. I think right now my other one, I think I have a 97 point something. Um,
yeah,
that way I can concentrate on it 100% and not just fly through the discussion posts or fly through my projects,
right.
or I get to devote a little bit of time.
And you were like, okay, I'm in, I don't have my own computer. I have this computer for work, and it keeps me tethered there versus evolving to the next thing
Yes.
because I don't have a computer. And I'm like, these are the little it they're not little. I don't mean little. These are the obstacles, no size intended there.
Mhm.
4 new tires. What kind
Mhm.
of car do you have?
A Nissan Rogue,
What year?
2017.
Okay, so you need 4 new tires for that. You need a computer to be able to do your work. A Mac, Book Air, I think you said.
Yeah,
Uh,
it's amazing. I don't think I'll ever go back now, but, like, you think I could go out and pay $1,400 for a computer for myself? No.
right. So these are
Yeah,
the obstacles,
yeah.
that the bumps in the road that can really like throw somebody back. And that need not be when we have philanthropic people in our community that want to help, but
Mm,
they don't know where to help. And I think in the world of giving, we've all heard, my son is a wounded vet,
mhm,
and back when he was shot in Fallujah, there was the Wounded Warrior Project,
yeah,
and everybody wanted to give to the Wounded Warrior Project, and then the money was mishandled.
yeah.
Well, and then Tracy Atkins said, "Hey, we've totally revamped it. The famous country song. It's all good now, and it might be all good now, but I don't want to give to the wounded." It's
Yep,
like then you
yep.
hear then you hear that the people in charge of these things, whatever different philanthropic, not philanthropic, but these different
Mhm,
organizations, that they take, you know, 30% off the top, or,
mhm.
so it's
That's what the recovery community is doing here, and that kinda stems to what I kinda wanna do when I do get a property, is 1 or 2 of those units are gonna be for people transitioning out of sober living.
right.
Just don't they wanna live on their own, but they don't wanna be by themselves.
Right.
Is
Right.
and I kinda wanna give that back because there is no place for that.
Right.
Everybody's opening up sober houses. They are exploiting people's recovery.
Right.
So tired of seeing it.
No, I hear you. And one of the cool
Yeah,
things about our philanthropic people that are giving to you, the funder that we had that paid for your classes and your books this semester, 100% of every penny that he gave went directly to you. I didn't take a cut. Nobody took a cut. 100% of every penny, every dollar that he gave went directly towards that. I love that. And now we're looking for the next round of classes, and we're looking for 4 tires, and we're looking for a computer. We
mhm,
can't, I love the starfish story, and that's sort of the brand for Stop Trafficking US, because we can't save everybody. There's nothing I can do about Gaza, and there's nothing I can do about mass shooters or whatever,
yeah,
but I can make a difference in one person's life. And when you and I met, it was so cool because we did a Zoom for an hour and a half once a week during COVID, where we had another house in Maine,
yep,
resident for survivors, and Sophia's house. And I had different people from all over the world come and speak to you guys for an hour and a half. It was
mhm,
so cool. Nobody was getting anything. Nobody was getting paid to do
yep,
it.
yep.
Never.
You brought up mass shootings, and honestly, that's kinda what's perpetuating me right now, and I know it was only last week, but the shooting that we had up in Lewiston, um, that was right around the corner. I mean, I knew people that have passed, it affected everybody, like, I didn't leave my house for 4 days, and I'm like, "Wow, I have wasted so much time, and life is just really short."
Yeah. And then
It's really short. Yeah.
I guess they had another shooting in Cincinnati. And from my, the work that I do, the prevention work, I'm just like, this is that shooter. And I actually have um, somebody at a university research lab looking into this for me. I want to know what the ACE scores, what the adverse childhood experience score is on all the shooters that we've had so far in the United States. I would bet, everything I have, that those shooters were all a high ACE score.
Absolutely, we're actually taking a training, it's called Freedom in Captivity. They're actually 2 inmates who have been incarcerated for a very long period of time, and it's for team building, and taking our ACEs was one of the things, and I've taken it before, but I don't think I really paid attention to what I was doing because
Uh-huh.
my score's a 10.
Yeah,
Like,
right,
I have a 10. It's not the kind of test that you wanna score that high on, but that's what I have.
right.
Yeah,
And, and these shooters, I'm sure the same thing.
absolutely,
So,
absolutely.
part of the and I say this all the time. We want to prevent children from being abused so that they don't grow up to be that shooter. They don't
And
grow
it's
up
sad. I
to be.
actually knew his family. I knew his family. I actually brought some flowers over to his family and left them by the mailbox. His family's a they're victims too. And people around here are kind of forgetting that, like, he reached out for help. Nobody gave it to him.
Yeah. He
Yeah.
he fell through the cracks, and how many, and I go back to the genesis, right? So I see the awful problem, and there's nothing I can do about that. But my narrow lane is, how can I prevent this from happening in the first place? How can I protect children in the first place? And that's the majority of the work that I do, is that prevention piece. But
Mhm,
as a 10, as a survivor, um, I have this sisterhood, and
mhm.
I can't do what we're doing for you for every survivor,
Right.
but we can do it for you. Just like I've helped Trisha, just like I've helped. So
I can turn around and, like, what I try to do, like, with what I do for work, it's hard being in recovery, and I work with people who are actively still using. I work with the unhoused. I go around to make sure people have food, clothes, socks.
yeah,
I carry around spare socks in my car. I carry around bottled water. I carry around cases of Narcan
yeah,
because it's a thing. Whether it's comfortable for people, that really it's irrelevant. It's
yeah.
absolutely irrelevant. It's happening.
Well, you
Uh,
found your lane.
yeah,
You found your lane, and it could be your lane forever or for the next 5 years or whatever. And I found my lane.
Yeah.
And I love it that you and I can come together and help each other and help each other to help others,
Mhm.
right? And that's I just love that. That is so cool. So in wrapping up, I'm going to work on my part for the tires and the computer, and we've got our funder for the next semester of school and books, which is super cool and super grateful to him for that. And I is there anything that you would want to say um, to people in my stop trafficking world? Has I mean, to me, you're amazing with or without the help of Stop Trafficking US. But when you were in Sophia's house, how did you receive that Stop Trafficking US coming in? Like you participated, like you were so cool sitting on the couch. And what was that like for you? Was that a benefit to you? Was that a help to you?
Absolutely, absolutely. It made us feel like we were people. And it's been hard since I left Sophia's house. I mean, I got the privilege of running that program just like Trisha did when I came in. And I was able to kind of twist it around and it's like full circle. And it's only been 4 years. It feels like 15
It's
since I left Sophia. Like I've done all this stuff and our second graduate passed away. And that's been hard.
that addiction.
No, no, it wasn't, and that's what makes it even harder. It was Kim.
Oh,
Kim was our second graduate, and it was her heart. Her body just gave out. We haven't been very good to ourselves. That stems from what you were saying about, like, me feeling like I'm tethered to my job right now. I have lupus. I work for a nonprofit. Nonprofits do not offer insurance. I have lost main care. I no longer can take my medications for lupus. I end up in the hospital the other day. So, like, there's those things. So I'm going a homeopathic route with my vitamins and all this stuff, but
about that for just 1 second, because
yeah,
most people don't know.
yeah,
So main care, in order to receive main care, you need to, what's the dollar amount?
26,000 and under.
Yeah, so 26,000 or under.
Yep,
So uh it so if you make any more than that, let's say you make, 28,000, right?
yep,
Um somebody that makes 28,000 isn't necessarily going to be offered an insurance package,
mhm,
or they might offer it, but then you might have a high deductible
right, right.
because you're only making 28,000. So
Your rent is insane. If I didn't have a roommate, Catherine, I couldn't pay for rent right now.
so
I guess I could, like, mortgage-wise, but, like, there's no housing, there's no anything, and I work for a nonprofit. Recovery and harm reduction, they're nonprofits. You can't work in it to make money because there isn't any.
do you happen to know how much the lupus medication costs?
It's about 2 grand a month. Yeah, which honestly, the side effects of it were not even that's I don't think I wanna go back on them. I've gone a homeopathic route. I take Q-Curum, I take multivitamins, but you mean that's about 200 bucks a month too?
Yeah.
200, 300 bucks a month for all the supplements I take. I literally have a basket under my bed of, like, everything from tart cherry to Q-Curum. It's everything under the sun, but if
Yeah.
I miss a day, I can tell.
Right.
I eat very well. I don't do drugs. I like
And that's another thing, just food in and of itself. I mean,
Yep,
what
I don't get food stamps. I pay for all food out of pocket. I pay for my car insurance. I'm not late on that either. I'm such a model citizen now that it's almost frightening. I I I go to bed at 7:30, 8 o'clock at night so I can make sure that I sleep, and I cuddle with my cats, and my lizard costs me way too much money, but they make me happy. Um,
I'd love to
I
see.
she's hibernating. She's been asleep for 3 weeks.
Oh, geez,
So
yeah.
I go in and kinda touch her tail every once in a while, make sure she's doing okay, but I
I have an iguana named Lily. I loved her.
I love it. I had my roommate actually say to me, she's like, "Well, you don't do very much." Like, I'm always home. I'm a wicked homebody.
Me too.
But yeah, if you've lived a life that I've lived, I'm fine. I don't want to have a life. I don't want to do very much.
life. And
But I'm happy going to the gym and getting takeout and sitting in bed. That is okay to me. I've lived in my car. I've lived in tents. I've was on the run for most of my childhood. I actually one of our presenters for the training that we did this week, his name was Van, and he did a lot of outreach in New York City with a lot of women who were on the streets, and I actually remember hearing his name way back when in, like, 19 I think it was 97 when I was being trafficked out of New York really, really young. I remember this guy's name, and I was like, "Oh my god." And he's like, "Yeah," because we were talking about women disappear. Women disappeared back then, and they didn't look for them, and
they'll disappear.
they still disappear. They were what did they call them? Non-human victims back in the day? Yeah, and I remember that. And it was a crazy that he brought this up. I was like, "Wow." I said, "But you were out there." He goes, "Yeah, of course I was out there."
Yeah.
Yeah.
Love people like him.
Oh, he's amazing. Yeah.
Well, I'm proud of you for taking care of yourself, taking your vitamins and eating well and going to the gym and getting rest. It's just amazing. People want to think that
Mhm.
feeling better you know, is drugs. And I mean, like pharmaceutical, like I got it from my doctor, when really um mental health
Yeah,
starts with
yeah.
a good night's sleep, enough water.
Doctors don't know enough about lupus for me to even listen to them. Honestly, they really don't. My rheumatologist is like, "I don't know. We can try this."
Yeah, yeah.
But they don't know what to do with it. So what I'm doing is okay. It's never gonna go away. But maintenance, I think, is more important than anything. So yeah, it's my 17 vitamins I take a day. Anything for like I said, tart cherry to probiotics, you name it, it's everything.
Wow.
My 1 cup of coffee a day, drink plenty of water, like, put it right. Put essential oils everywhere and breathe. Yeah.
So, wrapping up, what do you any last words that you would like to say to the peeps out in the world?
Just keep helping. Like I said, not every story is going to sound as smooth as mine. It's not smooth. I think I'm conditioned to, I guess, accept more than like most people do. So I make it sound like things are really, but there's sometimes they're not. It's hard. It is really hard, but not every story is going to be a success story. Um, there's going to be bumps. People are going to make mistakes. People are going to backtrack. But don't lose hope on people because sometimes, like with recovery, sometimes it can take 10, 15, 16 times to get it right. Some people never get it right, but it doesn't make them any less of a person deserving help. So don't put conditions on helping, I guess. Yeah.
Love that.
Yeah.
Can you guess his face before we hit the end record?
That's no, he's had enough. I think I hurt his feelings because I pushed him away.
Okay. All right. Well, my love to you.
You
I'm gonna
too. Thank you so much. I'm gonna go for my nice long drive today.
Right. Well, God bless you. Me. All right.